Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to wait a few minutes for more of our parents to log in. We've got a few logging in now, so we'll just give it another minute. We're really excited to have you guys here with us today. I hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. As we wait for more parents to join, or more families, I'm sorry, to join us here on the stream, I'll go ahead and start introducing myself. Some of you I've met via interview. Some of you I've just had the pleasure of reading your folder, your students' folder. My name is Ms. Condezo, and I'm the Director of Admissions here at Archbishop Carroll High School, celebrating 70 years of excellence in Catholic education. So we're really excited for this new cohort. Congratulations to our future Lions. Buenas tardes a todos nuestros futuros leones. There will be a video. This video will be posted with Spanish subtitles after the meeting. So for our Spanish-speaking families, después que termine este meeting, vamos a postear el video con subtítulos en español. Así ustedes pueden seguir toda la información que les vamos a dar en este meeting. Just to share a little bit of Carroll news, our indoor track team is traveling this weekend. I believe they have nationals this weekend, but I know they're traveling to nationals, so we're really excited about our track team. Our engineering program is getting ready to attend the National Association of Black Engineers Conference in California, where our program director, Ms. Ming, will be one of the speakers. So we're really excited about that as well. Our Latin dance team got selected to be part of the Cherry Blossom Festival this year. They're going to be performing March 28th. We'll do a live stream of their performance as well. So lots of great things coming up for Archbishop Carroll, but we're really excited to have you all here as part of our cohort. I believe that this is the strongest cohort to date for Archbishop Carroll. So, we're really, really excited to have you guys along for the ride. And of course, answer all of your burning questions about what it's going to be like to be a Lion here at Archbishop Carroll High School. So I believe the time, we're almost there. So we're going to give it one more minute to make sure that we get as many parents on as possible. And again, if I didn't say it yet, we are saving this video. So if you miss it or you have to log off, we'll be happy to post it and you can watch it at a later date. We'll also be sharing contact information for Ms. Miller and the rest of our counseling team. So if you have any questions that aren't addressed in this video, we'll be happy to send out some information in the weekly newsletter. Speaking of which, if you're not receiving the weekly newsletter for accepted students, please let us know. Reach out to our admissions office. We want to make sure we have the correct contact information. Lots of important information in there for our new Lions. So it is 6:05. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker for the evening. So this is the first of a series of virtual workshops for our new Carroll Lions. The first workshop that we're doing is student counseling. We have had a plethora of questions involving scheduling, graduation requirements, honors placement, all really great questions. And we're going to touch on all of it today. So I want to introduce our amazing Director of Counseling, Mrs. Christine Miller, and she will be showing a brief presentation, kind of overview of what our counseling department does. And furthermore, we'll have a Q&A at the end of the presentation. So please feel free to drop any questions in the chat as we're going along, and then I'll go ahead and come back on screen to pitch those questions to Ms. Miller. Without further ado, take it away, Ms. Miller.
Good evening, everyone. It's indeed my pleasure to be among the many people to say congratulations on your acceptance to Archbishop Carroll and welcome to the Pride. I am excited. This is a new thing for us. We usually get jammed into the middle of accepted students night. So it's really nice to be able to take my time and really walk you through what it looks like academically to be a Carroll Lion. For us, we hold two things sacred. We hold our Catholic mission sacred, and we hold our mission to help our students get to and through college sacred as well. And for us, that begins right now. We are simultaneously celebrating where our seniors have been accepted. They are making their decisions to get ready for our May 2nd college decision day. And so it's really interesting to be in this place, to be a counselor to half the senior class and a counselor to the freshmen, because I am able to be there and support our students at the beginning of their journey to college and as their journey is culminating. So this is really interesting. I spent the end of my day talking about college, and I'm going to spend the beginning of my evening talking about freshman year. So if you'll indulge me for a second, I'm going to share my screen. Oops. Okay, and Ms. Candezo, can you see this? Am I sharing it correctly?
No, I don't see anything quite yet.
Okay. So I am. Okay, I'm all set to go, but I'm not 100% sure how I get there. I apologize, everyone.
Ms. Miller, go ahead and try now.
Okay.
I think we see your screen now.
Oh, you see me? Okay, good. Now let me open. Okay, can you see it at least? See the loading that's there?
Yes, we see the loading.
Okay, all right, let me try one more time.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. As you know, technology has gotten us so far.
I apologize, everyone. This worked just fine. Oh my gosh, it worked perfectly before everything started. Okay, I think I'm gonna log in from a different computer.
While we wait for the slideshow to go ahead and start up, feel free to drop in your questions. We'll be addressing all things that have to do with counseling, scheduling, honors placement, different things of that nature. Shameless plug, if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you have completed your enrollment. We're so excited that you've been accepted, and we definitely want to fully immerse you in the Carroll experience once you are enrolled. We're shortly going to be creating student emails, and you'll be getting all the things that have to do with Archbishop Carroll. So we're really excited about that.
Okay, I'm coming in on my computer. I apologize, everyone. Are there any questions in the chat I can answer while
Not quite yet. I think everybody's just is waiting for the presentation to start. No, but that's good. That's good. It's good to have a captive audience.
Progress.
Okay.
Another shameless plug that we have going on is we were going to be having a girls soccer clinic coming up on March 26th. If your student is interested in soccer, it's a great way to get to know the team, the coaches, get a little dirty with it. So we're really trying to promote our soccer program. We're also have the Spring Sports Open House coming up April 9th from 10 to 12. That's an in-person event. So you'll be able to meet all of your coaches, everything from cheerleading, football, soccer, volleyball, baseball, track, all the great coaching staff, and basketball, obviously, all the great coaching staff we have here. Oops, we're closer. Oh, yay.
Okay. I apologize again. Sorry, it worked just fine before we went live. And oh my gosh, no way.
It is loading.
All right. Okay. Okay. So thank you again. Here we go. So first and foremost, again, let me say welcome. You all are members of the class of 2026. Your children, or you, if whomever's watching, you're members of the class of 2026. It sounds really strange to say, but it sounded really strange in 2018 when the class of 2022 started at Carroll, and I can't believe we're coming up on graduation already. So it goes so quickly. So again, your host this evening, I'm representing the counseling department. We are a mighty, small but mighty department in Archbishop Carroll. There are 3 counselors. I work with the 9th grade and half of the senior class. Miss Sister McCullough works with the 10th grade. Mrs. Powell works with the 11th grade and the other half of the senior class. We have a social worker, Mrs. Riley, who sees students by referral. And then Mrs. Powell is also our college counseling coordinator. And then this is just a visual, and it also links to our email addresses if you'd like to reach out. What we do what most counseling departments do at most schools, be they public or private or charter. We seek to serve all students, and we seek to be Carroll's mission in action. We serve students through academic counseling, individual counseling, classroom guidance. We push into some classes, we push into homerooms as needed, and we provide what's known as tier 1 whole school support that way. We have small groups. We work with parent, teacher, and student referrals. we provide crisis support. And a big part of what we do in that mode is that we work directly with the Office of Student Life, who you'll hear from, I believe, in a week or so, in both discipline and restorative justice. And then a big part of what we in every high school do is to provide college counseling. So like I said, we serve to be the representation of Carroll's mission every day. We are a Catholic, college preparatory, co-educational school that welcomes young people and empowers them in an academically rigorous, diverse, and supportive learning environment. That's our mission. It is posted in every classroom. It's on the announcements every morning. If you ask kids if they can recite the mission, mainly what you'll hear is Catholic and college prep. We walk proudly in the with the label as a college prep high school. It is very important to what we do. And like I said before, for us, it really does begin right now for our students as they are choosing their classes in the 9th grade, as they are preparing to come to Lyons Academy. We do everything and we plan everything with college in mind. What does that mean for us? So for us, it means a pillar built on 2 foundations. One, of course, is the academic coursework. We meet with kids every year. We guide them into, and we have requirements that prepare them for college. When our students submit their Archbishop Carroll High School transcripts as part of their college applications, colleges understand that they are ready. The classes that they've had, the teachers that they've worked with, the academic experiences that they've been a part of have prepared them for college. And as our students graduate and begin college, they often come back and say, whoo, Mr. Folletti's POK class was hard, but I was ready for college. And we always have alumni come back and talk to students, and that's what I hear over and over again. I was ready for college because of what I did at Carroll. Additionally, a quality college application packet is built on coursework and experiences. And so we strive to provide those experiences in many different ways. You heard Ms. Condezo speak about our Latin dance team, our Project Lead the Way program, our engineering program, our Jim Vance scholars are graduating their first senior class this year. So we seek to provide for all of our students something that they can connect to outside of the classroom. One of my mantras as a counselor is that every kid needs a thing. And so we help kids identify what that thing for them is, the thing that makes them do their homework, the thing that becomes their why on the nights when they don't feel like studying. Every kid needs something outside of the classroom, and that generally is developed in high school. So we pride ourselves on a school as small as we are. We have a plethora of experiences that our students can be a part of to really figure out who they want to be once they graduate from high school. I just want to briefly go over again, because we tie everything we do to college preparation. I just wanted to give you a small sense of what that looks like for our students from the time they begin 9th grade to the time that they graduate. And this will be pretty similar to a lot of other schools that you all may be considering. But in 9th and 10th grade, the key really is exploration. Now, we know students come to high school from a lot of different places with a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of different experiences before they walk through our doors. So we take nothing for granted. So one of the required classes for our freshmen, we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the presentation, but one of those required classes is something we call Freshman College Seminar. And a big part of what students do in that class, they spend a lot of time using Naviance, which is the engine that we use to facilitate the college process, is how we submit and partner with universities to get all the documents where they need to be, when they need to be there. But there's also a very big college and career and self-exploration part of Naviance, and students begin to use that in 9th grade. 10th grade, they continue on the journey of really figuring out who they want to be, answering the big questions. What am I good at? What do I like to do? What do I want to learn more about? And we consider the choice and the development of your college list really like an inverted pyramid. You start with the big questions, you answer those beginning in 9th grade. And as you move into 11th grade, it begins to become a little bit more concrete in what you have to do. There become things that you have to do. You're going to understand, they're going to understand their place in the class, their GPA, some schools that they have in mind will start to emerge. They'll start to develop a list. And at this time in 11th grade, so in the second semester of 11th grade, students will begin meeting individually and as families with the college, with Mrs. Powell, our college counseling coordinator, and they will begin to plot those specific steps that will take them to college admission. And then in 12th grade, from the summer on, we hold workshops in the summer to get students ready. We hold second set of individual meetings early in the fall. And then usually you can find a senior in one of our offices asking a question about something that has to do with college applications from the beginning of the year, really up until this point. We kind of shut down everything in April, and it really turns into a process where we can get ready to send final transcripts to help students with financial aid, and then just celebrate the great news that they've received all year. And so it becomes really a logistics process for us in the 12th grade. Okay, but back to you all. You all have incoming freshmen, and I'm sure now you're wondering, well, what happens next? The thing that we will generally begin our relationship with every student with will be talking about that freshman schedule. Some things are required. There's a little bit of choice as a freshman, and then they will get more choice as they move along. But every student, every school, every counselor you talk to will be able to discuss graduation requirements. So these are the things that are required for an ACHS diploma. We subscribe to the notion that all students should take what's called 4 of the core. For us, it's actually 5 core because religion is a core class for us. But you'll notice on this chart that religion is required all 4 years. English, math, science, and social studies are required all 4 years. It says 3 on there, but government is also a requirement. So that's moving to 4. We also require 2 years of the same foreign language or world language, and that must be taken at the high school level. So if you are coming from middle school with world language credit, it does not negate the need for 2 years of a foreign language in high school. And the reason for that is that the top tier colleges and universities, and if you have some time and you want to think of a college and you type it in, if you look at what they require for admissions, a lot of them will recommend a 3rd year of a world language. And so we want to always be mindful to put our students in the best position to be to have as much choice for college as they can. So that's why you'll see that we require 2, but we always recommend 3. We require 1 credit, visual, fine, or performing arts. We have a visual art program that's developing. We have instrumental music, choral music, and drama. Any of those classes will meet that fine arts requirement. There's also a full credit required of a business course, a tech class, or engineering. Some Gym Vance classes are open to any student, and those classes also meet that requirement. We require 1 credit of physical education. That can be met with two seasons playing a sport, either varsity or JV, participation on the Latin dance team. We have a dance team. So there are many ways that students get that physical education credit. We do have PE classes, and a lot of athletes like to take PE. So there's many ways to get that. And then we also require a half credit of health. And then we do require electives above and beyond the 1 credit that's required of fine arts and tech. This is what a typical 9th grade schedule will look like. If you are a Jim Vance student or Project Lead the Way student, your schedule will differ. You will have different classes, but you're still required to meet all of these. You may have more specific classes. Our 9th grade religion course is Catholicism. Our 9th grade English class is either Pre-AP English 9 or Honors English. Pre-AP is our base level coursework. Again, because we consider ourselves a college prep and we take that seriously, every student is exposed to pre-AP coursework, and then students are selected to continue in full AP classes in 11th and 12th grade. Math will be assigned, students will be assigned in math based on the math course they're taking as 8th grade students. If they are bringing credit with them in math, a large number of our students take algebra in the 8th grade, then there'll be placement for, they'll be placed in a 9th grade class accordingly, but it does not eliminate the credit that's required for graduation in math. The science course for our 9th graders is biology. The social studies course is world history 9. And then, like I said before, we encourage all of our freshman students to either take or continue a world language. PE, most freshmen will eliminate that PE and health requirement as 9th graders. And then there's generally space for 1 elective in their schedule, unless they're Jim Vance or Project Lead the Way students. So now that you've seen what classes are required, you know, what's required for graduation, then the next step would be all of yours as families. Once you have decided, yes, I want to be a Carol Lion, I'm ready to take the next step, that will involve, I'm sure Ms. Condesa will go over that in a little bit more detail, but once you complete the TADS agreement, pay your enrollment fee, then you come on our radar as an incoming 9th grader. And when your ACHS email is set up, you will begin receiving information from the counseling department. Most likely it will come from me, and there'll be specific instructions on how you actually will choose the classes that you're going to be in 9th grade. Again, there's not very much choice for freshman students, but there are some things that you all have to decide as a family. And course selection form will come to you via your Carol email address, just like all of our current students. And the earlier that you submit that agreement, the earlier you'll get to choose your classes. So our hope is that our incoming freshmen will be able to choose classes at the same time as our returning students. So that way you have a better chance of getting a seat in classes that really interest you. Once you choose your classes, closer to May 1st, you'll see something that's going to ask you to confirm the classes that you asked for. There will be a bit of a small window for you to make any changes, and then you'll just wait, and the schedule will be, everyone will receive their schedule during the orientation process, very close to the beginning of the school year. Okay, just a few things to remember. I'm sure you're probably swirling with all this information, and I know it was very brief. I anticipate going through a lot of this in more detail during the Q&A, but students are always placed in required classes first, whatever that means to that particular student. Again, if you are in a specialized program, Jim Vance Media, Project Lead the Way, some specific music course, you're going to be placed in those classes first, and your schedule has no wiggle room. As you move through, into 10th and 11th and 12th grade, more room will open up in your schedule, and then you have more of an opportunity to take some things that you choose as opposed to what's required. This is very important. If you are interested in being considered for honors placement, you have to indicate it on the course selection form. If you send an email, if you have a counselor send an email, or if you just submit your report card with showing that you're in advanced classes, that's not going to guarantee that you'll be placed in honors classes at Carroll. You have to check that form, check the box on your course selection form that indicates that you want to be considered for honors placement. It's not a guarantee, but you won't be considered for it if you don't check that. Final math and language placement will be completed during Lions Academy. Generally, if you've got an A or B in your current math, language class, you can be pretty assured of your placement. However, we will have placement testing during Lions Academy, which is the period in the summer, our summer bridge program. And so final placement and final schedules, your schedule won't be finalized until after that process. Middle school credit is used for placement in high school classes, but it is not used to calculate your ACHS GPA. Every student comes to us with a clean slate. And the reason why we do that is we have students coming from all different kinds of schools in middle school. And so we want to make sure that we're not over-calculating what an A means at this particular school versus what an A means at that particular school versus the percentage at another school. So we do not allow our middle school students to begin high school with any GPA established. Finally, we are working together to make sure that we get you ready for ninth grade, successfully into ninth grade, and successfully through ninth grade on the way to college. We will work together as a unit, as a team, and I can't wait to get to know each and every one of you better. Thank you for your attention. And I think that's all I have. And I think we're ready for questions, Ms. Candezo.
Yay, I'm so excited. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ms. Miller, first of all, for that wonderful presentation. It was very, very informative. So we're really excited to see what our families are dropping in the chat. So the first question is, as new students get acclimated to school, what is the best process to identify areas where they may need help to counselors?
Okay, well, relationships really are key. And one of the most important things about the Summer Bridge program is that it allows students to get to know each other, and it allows students to get to know teachers. We have teachers through most of our departments are represented in the Lions Academy at some point during the Lions Academy process. And that is a really great time for your students to get to know teachers as helpers in the building. It's not always necessary for students to come directly to counselors. If there's something going on and they feel like they need help, teachers are the people they see every day. And a lot of times that relationship that starts via a relationship with a teacher. A student may share something with a teacher, and a teacher may refer a student to me or to another counselor. We also go into classes on a very regular basis. We hang out in the halls, we're in the cafeteria, and that's very intentional on our part. Because what we really want kids to know is that we are helpers. We're supportive. We don't participate in the disciplinary process at all. And it's for that reason, because our job really is to advocate for and support students. And so generally kids will get to know us really well before school starts via either the scheduling process or Lions Academy. And hopefully they'll understand that we're a supportive ear in the building that they can go to if they need anything. And usually that's what I tell kids. If you don't know who to ask us, ask me, and I'll get you where you need to be.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. So we have a few more questions coming in, but I did want to clarify something real quick. So for those parents who don't know, Lions Academy is just like Ms. Miller said, it's our summer bridge program. So what that means is that we're going to have two different 2-week sessions during the summer where the students will be here in the building. They'll be wearing their uniforms and it's just like school. They're going to get acclimated to the building. They're going to meet their teachers and they're going to get the 401 on all things Carol related. It's a great time to just get immersed into the culture. So by the time they hit the front door on the first day of school, they're not deer in headlights. They're ready to go and they know where they're going and they're confident. They know where to get the help that they need. The dates are still being finalized, but as soon as those dates are finalized, we're going to be sending that information in the weekly newsletter. And again, if you're not getting the weekly newsletter, please make sure that you email admissions so we can get you on that mailing list.
And I don't know the exact dates, but I do know it's always in July. They're usually it's the week after the 4th of July is the first session.
Mm-hmm. The other question that we're getting is, how do you get your Carol email address? That is a great question. The first thing is you have to complete your enrollment. We're about to actually close for spring break. And after we get back from spring break, we're going to start setting up all those Carol emails. So you're going to be getting instructions for how to set that up. And then your student is going to start receiving Carol correspondence. So they're going to be part of the pride that they're going to get information about fun events that we have going on, signing up for Lions Academy, different things like that. So just keep an eye on your email. Again, we are closing for spring break. Right, tomorrow is our last day, and then we'll be off that week. And then after we come back, we're going to hit the ground running, getting all of our new Lions set up with their school emails. Another question that's come up is, if students arrive with high school credit for foreign language on their middle school transcript, will those credits contribute to the graduation requirements?
Generally, it will not. We're a little bit different than public high schools in that respect. Because like I said before, the majority of top tier colleges want to see 3 years of a foreign language, and they generally do not consider middle school credit to meet their requirements. So that's the reason why our requirements look the way they do, because we want to make sure that we're putting students in the best position to be accepted to the most of their college choices. So that's generally why we will allow it for placement, but not necessarily for a graduation requirement, because the credit generally isn't considered in college acceptance.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. So another question that has to do with Lions Academy. Oh, this one is actually a good segue.
Okay.
The question is, can all the fees, book and technology, parent involvement, yearbook and pack fee be paid now separate from the tuition? This is the first of many information sessions for our parents leading up to our big event, our Accepted Students Night on April 22nd. In 2 weeks, on next 2 Thursdays from now, we're going to have our second session, and that's going to be with our business office, Ms. Canales. So she'll be able to answer all of those questions regarding fees at that time. But again, I do want to push strongly that if you have decided to make Carol your choice for high school, please pay your enrollment fee and get that done, because that's going to be your next step, your foot in the door to get your Carol email, to get, your classes, all of that. So, take this spring break time that we're going to be closed to discuss with your family and get that done. There's another question. Oh, is there an opportunity to take elective classes during the summer?
During the summer, that would be a case-by-case basis, and it's generally not the summer before high school, but generally we have had students do it after their 9th grade year. Sometimes to get out of the way a requirement that allows them to sit for another class, but summer school is generally, the summer school that we offer is generally core classes, but we have had students take classes in different jurisdictions, but you have to get permission and we have to make sure it aligns with what our graduation requirements are in order for it to be on our transcripts.
Great. Someone is also asking, this is actually one for me. There are some forms on TAS that need to be filled out. You can actually ignore those. We've, just to give you a little bit of background, because this will also be another information session about health procedures at Archbishop Carroll. You know, we're hopefully reaching the end of this, you know, new pandemic wave. And we want to acclimate all of our families with those procedures. And obviously it's still a moving target, but you can ignore all the forms on TADS. Those are not necessary, and whatever forms are necessary will be shared with you during Lions Academy. This is a good question. Can you do the Augustinian Scholars Program in combination with the Jim Vance Media Program?
Yes.
That was an enthusiastic yes.
Yes, Augies are some of our most impressive students, and so are Jim Vance. So there have been quite a few who have been both.
Okay. How would a student be eligible to be an Augustinian scholar, or is it by choice, like we have to pick them ahead of time only?
I don't believe there is a separate application for Augustinian scholarships. I believe that is every student is considered as they apply.
Great. We'll also make sure that we're having an internal meeting to see if there's any other students that need to be identified as an Augustinian scholar, so that we can make sure that they're not missing out on any opportunities. As you know, we're coming back in person this year, and a lot of our programs were put on hold during virtual. So we're just getting back on our feet, as all schools are. So we're, you know, we may be revamping each of the programs to make sure that they're fitting the new needs of our students. Oh, here's a good one. Is freshman seminar an elective?
No. It is considered a requirement for each freshman because it is such a great class. They learn study skills. Like I said, a bunch of the curriculum is devoted to college exploration, career exploration. Miss Wilson, we call her the freshman whisperer. She's got a lot of things going on in that classroom that she doesn't like. That's just between her and her freshmen, and we don't really know what kind of magic goes on in that room, but it works. So yeah, that's mainly the reason why we require each freshman to take it, because it is an extremely valuable course. If you think of it more as a high school 101 class than freshman college seminar, that may give you a sense of what the curriculum looks like.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. You know, we still have some time, so if anybody has any more questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. If you feel like it's specific to you, you never know. It might be a question that another family might be interested in. And again, just to refresh, we will be posting this video on our YouTube page. So if you have to log off or you have to leave early or whatever, you can definitely check it out later at another time. And of course, our counseling department is always available via email.
If you can't remember anybody's email, you can send something to counseling@achsdc.org. It comes to all of us, and someone will answer your question. I know that college attainment, college applications, and it's a big deal. I have a freshman this year. My son is a freshman, and I know that when we were considering high schools, just that process and where kids go and what works was a big question that we had. And I think any high school will tell you similar information, that the path starts right in ninth grade. The choices you make with classes and activities are very important. So to that end, on behalf of Ms. Powell, who couldn't be here this evening. She wanted me to invite you all to join our student body at a virtual college fair that we are being invited to. We're hosting it in conjunction with Elizabeth Seton High School on March 23rd. I'm hoping there will be another admissions newsletter that goes out before then so that we can send out the link so that parents, you all can sign your families up. It's completely virtual. You do it from the comfort of your home, but we just wanted, I know that's a big part of your consideration. So we just wanted to invite all of you all to be a part of that process with our current students. The company that runs the college fair is called Nova, and what they do is they will invite colleges based on the colleges that our students are interested in. So as you register for the college fair, if you have particular schools that you wanted to know more about, something that you've seen as you ride around DC, we just have a fool's paradise of great schools here in the area. So feel free to identify those schools as you register for that event, and we would just like to welcome you all, just like our current students, to be a part of that. It's our first virtual college fair and we're pretty excited about it. So we'd love to have you all.
Wonderful. Some parents were asking about more information sessions. I'm dropping them in the chat, but I'm also going to save them for the purposes of the video that's going to be saved. Yes, this is the first of many. We have the next two planned out already. The next one is going to be, as I said, on Thursday, March 24th, same time, 6 p.m. And that's going to be with Ms. Canales from our business office. Once again, that is Thursday, March 24th with Ms. Canales in our business office, and our admissions associate, Ms. White, will be on that call. Then a little bit further down the line, Thursday, April 7th at 6 p.m., you are going to be on with our Office of Student Life, Mr. Scott. He is our Vice Principal of Student Affairs. He will be on talking about all things student life, from all the wonderful events that we have here, homecoming, spirit weeks, proms, all that fun high school stuff, to discipline policies, bullying, anything cyber related with that, and also talking about things like uniforms and school policies. So that will be April 7th. We'll be sending out flyers for all those events in our weekly newsletter. And one more time, if you're not receiving our weekly newsletter, please make sure that you let our admissions office know. We want to make sure that you're getting all the information you need to become fully immersed into our community. We did get a couple more questions. Let's see. Someone said freshman seminar is a requirement, but not a graduation requirement, correct?
Right. Yes, it counts as an elective credit. So it meets, if you remember at the bottom of the list, we did require some electives that don't necessarily have a category. Freshman seminar is one of those classes.
Great. There's another one. As students matriculate and become more aware what they're interested in studying in college, do you help to suggest schools that align with those interests? Do any come on campus?
Absolutely. That's a great question. Yes, that is a big part of what we do as college counselors. Everything is tied in. Like I said, we walk that mission every day. We take it very seriously, that most of our job is to prepare your students for what comes next. And to that end, we host over 70 college visits on campus in the first semester. So from August to December, we have at least 3 schools on campus a week. And many times we have 3 schools on campus at the same time. So schools find us. So we don't go out and ask schools to come to meet with Carroll students. We just open the doors. It's a program called Rep Visits. We just kind of open the doors electronically. We put a post up and say, hey, we're scheduling campus visits, and the schools just come to us. And like I said, every year we get more and more visits, because every year our Carroll students go to more and more schools and they just impress folks and we want some more of them. So So this year we had 70 between August and Thanksgiving. And then a smattering in the beginning of December. But generally, our big time for visits is between August and Thanksgiving.
Great, thank you, Ms. Miller. So we have another question. I know this is a student. Can you get a separate?
Hey!
Yes. Hello, Lauren. Can you get a separate jacket or pants other than the basic uniform if you're tall? I think that's.
I don't know anything
Scott
about that.
question.
I'm very short, so I have no idea what that feels like. So I hope so. I hope you can. We have really tall students, and they have uniform, like really tall. But some of our basketball players are almost 7 feet tall, and they find uniforms that fit them. So Lauren, I'm absolutely sure that they have uniform pieces that will fit you.
By the way, just as a reminder, our uniforms can be purchased at Flynn O'Hara. We'll be sharing the uniform, information sheet with you all soon, but it will also be covered in our third information session with the Office of Student Life.
These are really good questions.
Yes. I'm telling you, this is one of the best cohorts we've had to date. We're really excited to not just have the students, but the parents have been great. They've been asking great questions all throughout the process, and they're ready to be involved. And we love involved parents here.
Absolutely. I think that is the key to success. Especially the transition to ninth grade is a really big transition. It was a really big transition before the pandemic. And I think now coming out of the pandemic, it's even bigger. It's even more of a change, regardless of if you went to a big middle school or a small middle school, or you've been in one school from pre-K through 8th grade. It's a really big transition into high school. The way school works is different. What teachers requires different. The standards in the classroom are different, and having involved parents and supportive parents is ideal for your students as they make that, because their bodies are changing at that time a lot. Their minds are changing just developmentally, and then they're going into the rigorous nature of high school. So understanding what's going on at their school is vitally important to being a good support system for your students. So we encourage parents to get involved, stay involved, contact a teacher, come work at an event, just get to know what's going on in our building. We are glad to have you.
Wonderful. We got a couple more questions. Okay. When will schedules be available before freshman year?
So generally schedules for freshmen are finalized last, because that's just the way it works. They're at the bottom of the totem pole. So they are generally finalized right before school starts. But like I said before, when you submit that course request form by April 11th, which is the same deadline that our students are required to submit by, and when you meet, I'm sorry, do they have a different deadline, Ms. Contingent?
No.
Okay.
They'll basically, we're moving up the timeline a little bit this time.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, so we're hoping by the summer, actually, we're gonna have it all squared away. Okay.
So once your course requests are submitted and confirmed, you can be pretty sure that you'll be in those classes. A lot of it always has to do with staffing, with the master schedule as it's being built. Nothing is a guarantee until that final schedule is available. Everyone's final schedule is going to be available at orientation.
Great. Let's see. How often do students meet with their counselors?
I have students that come see me every day. I have students that, come see me every month. We don't have a set meeting with our students, but our doors are always open. We generally meet, if we schedule things, it'll be with whole classes, with prides, what we call homerooms, because we're Lions, with a class meeting. Sometimes we meet with the entire class at one time in connection with other things. Usually kids just find their way to us. And once we start meeting with them, a lot of times I have students I check in with on a weekly basis. I have students I check in with on an as need basis. A lot of the answer to that question really lies in what I'm doing with that student. I may only need to meet with them one time. I may need to meet with them several times. I may need to refer them out to someone else. So it all depends on what we're doing together, but there's no set time.
Thank you again, Ms. Miller. There's another question here. Do students bring their own computers? And Ms. Miller, correct me if I'm wrong, but students are all issued a Chromebook. I don't know if that's going to change for next year. I don't think so.
I believe it's not. I believe it's going to be, we're still a one-to-one school.
Mm-hmm.
So you are issued that computer whether or not you choose to use yours in the building. So, whether or not you choose to bring it to school every day, every student's still issued one. And so there's nothing wrong with bringing that back and forth to school and then utilizing your own computer at home. But that's a family decision. But we are a one-to-one school. Now, if you are an engineering student, I believe you have to use the school issued computer.
You do because of the specialized software.
Yeah, because of the software that's on it. Yeah.
Yep. This is another language credit question.
Okay.
With my son having language credits that his school labels high school credits, did you mention they are not accepted and he would still need to take it at Carroll?
So they're accepted for placement. So let's say, for example, your student took Spanish 1. If it comes from a school that issues high school credit, and those are genuinely or generally public schools that issue high school credit, we will accept that credit for placement, but it will not eliminate the requirement. And like I said before, that's because a lot of colleges will not accept credit earned in middle school as meeting their requirements, as meeting the language requirement on their end. So if we said, for example, if you took Spanish 1 in 7th grade and you took Spanish 2 in 8th grade, and we say, okay, fine, you're done, you don't need to take any language, then you may not meet. On the other end, you may not have on your transcript what colleges want to see. That's our impetus behind it. Now, of course, every student, it's really hard for me to finalize an answer until I see where the credit is coming from. ADW schools generally do not give high school credit. So that those classes are used for placement, but then students still earn high school credit with us. And that's because for them, it's a Carnegie hour thing. It's a really long, drawn out answer. How many hours you are sitting and studying that particular subject. You have to study something for a certain number of hours in order to earn a credit. And it's a lot of times it's the language courses in ADW middle schools are more integrated into other classes. So that's kind of, but everything's, individual case by case.
Wonderful. All right. So we are wrapping up now with our sessions. I really want to thank all of our parents and students for the really great questions that they've been dropping in the chat. Again, this is not the end of the conversation. If you have more questions, feel free. I dropped the counseling email in the chat. We'll also be sharing this link in the weekly newsletter. Again, last shameless plug, if you're not receiving the weekly newsletter, please make sure you email admissions so that we can add you to the list. There's going to be lots of great information in the newsletter this week about some dates that are coming up for some fun events. But the big one that I really want to push is that our Accepted Students Night will be April 22nd. It's a Friday, wonderful Friday night. Come and enjoy. We're going to have lots of fun things for the students, lots of great information for the parents. It is an outdoor event, so we'll be able to really mix and mingle in a safe space. Again, Ms. Miller said at the beginning, but again, let me echo our congratulations for being accepted to Archbishop Carroll. Please complete your enrollment as soon as possible. Big thank you to Ms. Miller for coming in today, joining us and providing all this great information for us. Ms. Miller, any last words for our freshmen or our new students?
Well, again, let me say congratulations. I really enjoyed this time. I could talk about Carol and what we do all night long, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you all individually, to getting to know your families. Hoping to see you all at Accepted Students Night. And if you have any questions, I'll tell you, like I tell the students, if you don't know who to ask me and I'll help you get to where you need to be. Again, please join us on March 23rd for our virtual college fair so you can get a kind of an idea of what your student can be exposed to when they join us here at Carroll. And I'll be seeing you all. Have a great night. Stay safe, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us, and look out for that newsletter, and we will talk soon. Thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.